We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason. After having read through the amended lawsuit, Ryan absolutely must go home, and I have got some major scoops. I mean, everybody's talking because the sink is shipping and people want to get onto lifeboats.
What I'm thinking is, what Brian Friedman is going to say is, so you were upset that you say your wife was harassed? And he's going to say yes. And he's going to say, yet
unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
Celebrities avoiding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds really goes to show that their careers are pretty much done and over.
But funny enough, you can't find the entire video. I only found the clip. So it was very bizarre that clip just was sitting somewhere in the clouds, and I couldn't find a full video, but that's what I found.
Says he went in there, Ryan Reynolds starts gushing with praise about Blake Lively's rewrite. He says that meeting happened, and then a few hours later, Taylor Swift waltzes into the room and also gushes with praise over the...
Did you know a top Hollywood director refused to work with Ryan Reynolds again after just one film? Or that a former co-star called it the worst experience of my career? In the next few minutes, we'll reveal the behind-the-scenes stories that changed how 5 celebrities see him. And wait till you hear who number 4 is. It might just surprise you.
look very familiar, and that Blake Lively would certainly know because she did almost the exact same scene. Yeah.
Wow.
And
it's strikingly similar.
Some of the dance moves,
yeah.
the spinning of her. Now you could say, look, that's just fan theory, is that Ryan Reynolds saw that scene in It Ends With Us, and it was a trigger, and that he is, because there are some people who feel like he is the one who's driving all of this.
He's
and
pulling
telling
the
Blake.
strings behind.
I don't think that seems very unfair to Blake Lively.
That's
to me,
pretty diabolical.
Who also had an experience, she has said in her lawsuit, that she was sexually harassed.
Right. That theory completely minimizes her feelings here, but
but some fans who are, of course, going to keep theorizing on this as long as it keeps.
So is the idea that Ryan was jealous and he thought, oh, hey.
Yes. And look, this has been like an ongoing theory that like Ryan Reynolds is the guy that's behind all of this because people feel that Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively were secretly in love while filming this. And if you listen to some of like the voice text that he sent her, it seems like a very, like they had originally like a very intimate conversation and like, you know, just their conversations were just very like
at 2 a.m. Or that's just his voice at 2 a.m.
Yes, but fans are really reading into this and they're like, you know, Ryan is so jealous of this relationship. He's trying to torpedo this. And look, at the end of the day, the scenes do kind of look alike. You know, the interaction, the camera angles, the dancing, but it's just another scene in any other movie that...
Remember when Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds starred together in Green Lantern? Well, there's another A-list actress who now refuses to even be in the same room with him, Sandra Bullock. Once his beloved co-star in The Proposal, Bullock reportedly wants nothing to do with Hollywood's favorite jokester. While their on-screen chemistry made the rom-com a box office hit, things behind the scenes were far less charming. Sources say the tension started during a key emotional scene. Reynolds allegedly went off script, tossing in ad-libs that disrupted the moment Bullock had carefully prepared. She was furious, feeling her performance was undermined for laughs. And it didn't end there. During press tour, Reynolds took credit for the scene's success, praising his improvisation while ignoring Bullock's contribution entirely. Things hit a low at the 2013 Met Gala, where Reynolds reportedly ignored her all night and even walked away to avoid a group photo. Since then, it's been silent war. Bullock has declined at least 3 major projects because Reynolds was attached, including a sequel to The Proposal that would have paid her 8 figures. While she's never spoken out publicly, insiders say her team is firm. It's Sandra or Ryan, You can't have both.
There, Ryan Reynolds starts gushing with praise about Blake Lively's rewrite. He says that meeting happened, and then a few hours later, Taylor Swift waltzes into the room and also gushes with praise over the rewrite of the scene. And he says, and his words in the lawsuit are pretty clear, he says, "It was clear to me that I was being pressured to go with Blake Lively's rewrite." He then wrote to Blake Lively and said, "Listen, that meeting was cool. I liked your pages anyway. You didn't really need to. I liked your pages even before Taylor and Ryan came out to sort of sing."
Sandra Bullock isn't the only A-lister who's drawn a hard line when it comes to working with Ryan Reynolds. Behind the wisecracks and fourth wall breaking of Deadpool lies a fractured partnership that shocked even diehard fans. T.J. Miller, who played Weasel, Wade Wilson's right-hand man, walked away from one of Hollywood's most successful superhero franchises, leaving millions on the table. But why? According to insiders, trouble started early. Reynolds wasn't just the star, he was running the show. From script tweaks to marketing calls, he had his hands in everything. Ryan didn't just play Deadpool. One crew member said, he became Deadpool, on and off set. But that hands-on approach came at a cost, especially for Miller. Reynolds' constant improvisation reportedly began eating into Miller's screen time. Every take, Ryan added more lines, said one insider. TJ would come prepared, but by the final cut, his moments were gone. Then came the real blow, the promotional campaign. Reynolds' own company, Maximum Effort, took over marketing, and suddenly, Miller was almost invisible. No posters, barely any trailer time. In exclusive messages obtained by our team, Miller confronted Reynolds directly, writing, "It's like I'm not even in this movie anymore." Reynolds responded with vague promises. "We're building something special for Weasel in the sequel." But when the Deadpool 2 script arrived, Weasel had been reduced to a footnote. Furious, Miller stormed into Marvel headquarters unannounced, waving the script and demanding answers. It got so heated they had to separate them. A witness revealed. Later, Miller told the press, "I would never work with him again." He became horrifically mean on set. When the mask came on, it was like dealing with two different people, and neither respected me.
Whoa, nice! Nice!
They followed me.
See, that's funny. That's a reveal because she's like, "Can we just stop?" But then she's in your DMs like, "Girl, keep it going."
That's my post, and she's like, "Oh, your coverage on this is amazing." And I messaged her. She's like, "You better keep going." And I'm like,
"Wow, that's an exclusive. That's hilarious."
I know. And the biggest, like, my favorite. I don't know if you ever watched Rizzoli and Isles.
Yes.
Dr. Isles has a podcast she's starting, and she messaged me. She wants me to come on.
It's wild. Enjoy. Well deserved. Well, I love it. We'll talk more later. I would love, because I figure out where you are, but you're not in LA because we're filming a lot of people in LA, and I'd love to include you in our doc if you're willing, but we'll talk more about that as we go. But while I have you, we do have some Ryan Reynolds updates I wanted to share. And so rather than just play your video, I thought it'd be fun if we could actually get you on here.
Notebook.
Oh, you got, wow. That is the notebook?
No, this is the book of truth. It's everything. It's
Amazing. You are doing the work. You are helping us get to the truth. So there's been a few Ryan Reynolds updates. First, before we get to even yours, I'm assuming you saw Matthew Lawrence was calling him out as well. Matthew Lawrence has the Brotherly Love podcast with the Lawrence brothers. Good for them. They're relevant again through this podcast.
Somehow.
Whoa, that's what I think of. Blossom, whoa. Here he was talking about Ryan.
It just missed the mark, but it was a really interesting movie. Great script.
Frankenbold or something was the movie?
The funny part about it is that the production team was having a really hard time with Ryan. This is young Ryan.
He wanted to wear his own clothes. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Are you telling me he was sending texts to the studio?
I've heard that before.
Back in the mid-90s. I wonder where Blake learned it from.
I'll never forget.
Allegedly.
I'll never.
All hearsay.
That's what they call that MO.
I was.
Go ahead. Say. Sorry, I meant to pause. What were you saying?
I said that's what they call a method of operation on the criminal shows. That's an MO, if I've ever seen it.
Yes.
I'd grown up in the industry, so I'd known my way around a set by that point. I was dialed in, right?
You couldn't keep him away from craft service.
He wasn't dialed in.
I'm just kidding.
Okay? And he'd walk out, didn't really, just wanted to kind of do his thing. And the producers were getting really upset because they said, And they even told him, like, Ryan, this is a bad Jim Carrey impersonation. We don't want just not what we hired you to do. We thought you can't impersonate somebody. You got to do your own thing. And he got upset at that. And he was like, I'm doing my thing. And then I was privy to a meeting between the director and this crew had come from, I think they were just nominated for an Oscar. So they were.
Can I just love that we are in the state of the world where actors who don't get as much work can now make a podcast and dole out these old stories of the people that they always wanted to rag on. You go, Matthew Lawrence.
And it's a moneymaker now.
Kind of a big deal at that moment. Talk about frustrations on set with actors. Right. And I'll never forget being privy to this movie going, I can't believe this guy. We had so much hope for this guy. He's going nowhere.
That's funny. He's like the biggest.
He's
literally the biggest.
You never know in Hollywood, folks.
But here's the difference.
You never know.
So anyway, but he was young. Do you fault him, Elsrich, on this one? Is this really that? Your story's worse. That's why I started with the last one. What do you think of this?
I wish he would call me and told me this story personally, so I could have released it with my wits, because I would have done numbers with the story. I mean, the comparisons I could have found within the story and what Blake is doing is just amazing to me. I wish everybody would come out the woodworks. I still feel like there are people who are scared to speak their truth, and it's amazing to me. Actually,
it's like Armie Hammer when he was so afraid to talk about Blake Lively clearly firing him.
Oh yeah. And that's not even the worst of Gossip Girl stories that could come out, so she got lucky with that.
While TJ Miller's career spiraled after Deadpool, another betrayal was quietly unfolding behind Hollywood's velvet curtain. One that involved Ryan Reynolds allegedly stealing a former friend's passion project. Before Deadpool saved his sinking career, Reynolds was scrambling for a hit. With flops like Green Lantern and R.I.P.D., studios were losing faith. Then, in 2010, at an exclusive industry party, Reynolds allegedly found the lifeline he needed by listening in on a pitch from comedian Dane Cook, his waiting co-star. Cook had spent years developing a bold, R-rated superhero satire that shattered genre norms and broke the fourth wall. Sound familiar? Just months later, Reynolds began fast-tracking Deadpool, a film with eerily similar themes. According to insiders, when mutual acquaintances noticed the overlap, Reynolds shrugged it off as coincidence, even joking Cook should be flattered. But things turned ugly when Cook confronted him privately. Verified emails show Cook asked for acknowledgement, only to be met with legal threats from Reynolds' team, warning him to stay silent or face litigation. It's the dirtiest open secret in comedy, one veteran comic told us. Dane didn't have the power to fight Ryan's rising empire, so he got buried. Several comedians reportedly blacklisted Reynolds in quiet protest. On a 2019 podcast, Cook spoke cryptically about a Canadian actor who stole his superhero idea. I watched someone take my baby and build an empire with it. The hardest part wasn't losing it. It was watching everyone call him a genius while I had to smile through it.
That picture real quick. It's really interesting. A lot of them are just not looking at him at all, even though he's standing and praying. That's really interesting. And nobody's amused, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, they just thought it was puzzling that they would be out considering all the things that have been said in this war between Blake and Justin. So now, that's not to say that they were completely ignored. From what we've heard, there were people who were talking to them. Paul McCartney, strangely enough, was hanging out with them. But there were other people who actually avoided them, is what we heard, that were just didn't want to get into conversation with them.
Well, you can understand it. They're sort of radioactive. In one breath, Blake Lively is saying she was the subject of serious sexual harassment during the filming of It Ends With Us, and now they're making light of it on SNL's 50th reunion show. So tonally, it does seem off, and I can imagine people just wanting to stay away from it. You're going to catch shrapnel if you get involved in this drama at this point.
You know what?
That's probably the point. Like,
can I tell you,
you don't want to catch a stray.
The craziest thing about everything that's unfolding. Okay, I get the Blake Lively thing, and I know that there is a history there that people have been talking about, and the war with Justin Baldoni. But to say the word radioactive in the same sentence as Ryan Reynolds is unbelievable.
It's because we were not there. That's just not where Hollywood was, and
it was the opposite.
Complete opposite.
One of the most beloved actors in this town And that's why, look, when you see people doing commercials, you know that they've checked out their popularity. I mean,
because normally that's something that actors don't want to do, but you know he knows he can do it because it's not going to affect his Q rating.
Yet now he is in the middle of this whole thing, and really was in the middle of it. It's just nobody knew it until now. But it's breathtaking the way he's been kind of balled up in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, his lawyer, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, was on Billy Bush's podcast yesterday, and he had some choice words about Ryan Reynolds' choice words.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that, and so it surprised me.
So I got to tell you, all I'm thinking in my head is one word: deposition. Because when Ryan Reynolds sits for a deposition, if it gets that far,
tell us about when you went in for the meeting and going over the script with SNL.
Well, what I'm thinking is what Brian Friedman is going to say is, so you are upset that you say your wife was harassed, and he's going to say yes, and he's going to say yet you kind of made a joke of it, or made a joke of it. Well, that's what he'll say.
More than asking Ryan, he's going to put that question to Blake, because she's sitting there, she's party to it, and reacting to the lines.
You're going to do it with both, but you're going to do it with Ryan.
Right.
You're going to do it.
But my point is, do you say to Blake, you
were sitting there, you
so
co-signed
upset.
on it. You co-signed on it. So it's like these things bite you in the ass sometimes.
Right. It's sort of like when there's a case going on, we always say that you don't hear the people speak out about it at all. This happened with Alec Baldwin during his case, and he sat and did a big interview, and we're like, that was really puzzling. This is why people generally zip up when they're in the middle of something.
While Dane Cook was quietly nursing heartbreak, Ryan Reynolds was busy torching a very public bridge with one of late night's most powerful hosts. Enter the mystery of the missing celebrity guest. Have you ever wondered why Reynolds, who's charmed his way onto nearly every talk show in America, has never returned to Jimmy Kimmel Live? It's no accident. Sources say Reynolds was once a Kimmel favorite, known for his slick banter and perfectly polished stories. But everything imploded during a 2018 promo appearance that went off the rails before cameras even rolled. According to insiders, Kimmel discovered, just minutes before taping, that Reynolds' marketing company, Maximum Effort, had orchestrated a surprise viral stunt without notifying producers. The plan? Planted actors in the audience, hidden visual effects, and a pre-recorded segment designed to hijack the show. I was in the green room when it blew up, one staffer revealed anonymously. Jimmy was livid. He told Ryan, "This is my show, not your ad campaign." Reynolds, reportedly unfazed, smirked and replied, "Trust me, this will go more viral than your boring questions."
Ouch.
The interview went ahead, stripped of the stunt, but the awkward tension bled through. Viewers noticed. Staff described the vibe as radioactive, with one camera op saying, Jimmy was counting the seconds to the commercial. But Reynolds didn't let it die. Days later, he posted a cryptic tweet mocking.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds really goes to show that their careers are pretty much done and over. Blake Lively more than Ryan Reynolds. Radioactive is the same word that describes them. If you look at Robert De Niro's face as well as Kevin Costner, it's extremely telling. They're done. And it's no wonder everyone avoided them like the plague. And others were just trying to keep it polite.
So, what do these feuds really reveal about one of Hollywood's most beloved stars? Behind Ryan Reynolds' charm and quick wit, the same qualities that made him a box office powerhouse, lies a more complicated truth. His journey from struggling actor to entertainment mogul hasn't come without its share of fallout. While fans see the polished interviews and viral social media stunts, these 5 celebrities experienced a very different side of him. A pattern emerges: clashes over creative control, marketing overreach, and an unrelenting drive that's left bitterness in its wake. But here's the real question: does any of it actually matter? With a billion-dollar Deadpool franchise, a booming telecom company, and a hand in multiple production ventures, Reynolds may have reached a level of fame where the usual rules no longer apply. In an industry built on connections, he's managed to thrive while making enemies. Will those burned bridges ever come back to haunt him